Hey y'all, how you doing? This is Oliver Camino, St. Germain Properties. Today I'm coming to you maybe with a little bit of a third rail kind of topic, touching on what we're seeing in the political landscape and how that might affect real estate. Normally I tell my agents, you don't want to get too involved in expressing your political opinions because there's a 50% chance you're going to piss somebody else off. And that's not what I'm talking about here today. I'm talking more about what's going on now and how does that actually affect the luxury market here in Charleston, Isle of Palms, Folly Beach, downtown. So what we've been seeing is a lot of talk about tariffs and threats of tariffs. That caused, if you looked at the dollar actually shot up in value, which means in strength against other currencies. The Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso both lost about 25% of its value. Now I think you're seeing that recover here as it looks like these tariff talk, a lot of it are veiled threats from the administration. It looks like for the short time, the US administration got what it wanted from Mexico, Canada, which is, kind of help shoring up the border. How does this affect interest rates though? And I think for that, we need to take a step back. To give you my perspective and where I'm coming from, I'm an immigrant. I immigrated here from Argentina. My family did. I was young in the early 70s. And what we saw there until very recently again was hyperinflation and a very authoritative government confiscating businesses and making business really difficult. We also saw a bloated bureaucracy, and all of that led to 200-300% a year inflationary periods, which until very recently have existed in cycles in Argentina. Recently, they had a president there that slashed the budget, and now they actually have a fiscal surplus for the first time, which is driving down interest rates significantly there. I do think here in the US, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we have a slight spending problem. And in that spending problem, there is a lot of corruption. We might think of countries like Nigeria, Argentina, Brazil as being corrupt, but the truth is the amount of corruption in the US, and just that's inherent in our system, in our contracts and how they're rewarded both domestically and abroad, the amount of corruption that we have is probably greater than the gross domestic product of 80% of the world's countries. That means our corruption probably equals 80%. And let me put corruption and waste. Outright fraud or just blatant waste. It's going to be a higher figure than most other countries in the world, their GDP. The United States is going to need to rein in somewhat that spending to get interest rates down, because you can't print trillions of dollars more than you're taking in every year and not expect to debase the value of the dollar. So that's the environment that we're coming from. How does that affect interest rates? I think in the short run, as if you know anything about Donald Trump, geez, I've been reading about Donald Trump in the papers and the news since the 80s, not to give away my age of 39. If you know anything about the way he negotiates, it's a lot of taking extreme positions and then working yourself back to the middle. If people don't know that by now, he's written a book about it. It's called The Art of the Deal. And again, I'm not going to get political here, but I think, you can see where his negotiating style is going to come from. That being said, in the short term, there could be some pain. You might see slight increases in interest rates or prices, but I think the end result will be if they can get some kind of fiscal sanity, that you will see interest rates start coming down. It just could be a very choppy period. So what does that mean for the current market? Well, I think there's going to be some uncertainty in the market in the short run. And if you're a buyer, you can maybe take a little bit of advantage from that. If you're a seller, you could also look to sell your home. We do a lot of off market. It's just very inherent in the way we do things. Like right now, if you're looking at Isle of Palms, we'll have more homes that we know that are for sale by owners, just not written on the MLS, than are actually listed. There's 33 homes for sale on the MLS right now. If you're a seller, you can still take advantage of the low inventory and get the word out there and sell your home. But it is a really good time in that prices are really high, but there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And again, once this all works its way through, if inventory stays low, and again, I'm talking more about the luxury market here. This is my neighborhood, by the way. I'm in Pepper Plantation. This is where all the weddings are held here. I don't know if you can see the barn there in the back. That's where 50% of people come to have a great life, and the other 50% will probably get divorced in 2 years. What we're seeing is that there is uncertainty in the short run. And you can take advantage of that if you're a buyer. My feeling is that if interest rates work their way down to 6%, if they go lower, I think there are billions of dollars in real estate on the sidelines that will jump in the market. And I think that's something that you can maneuver successfully if you're prepared, you're informed on the market, and you're looking. And if you're smart, you might actually be able to take advantage of some of these cycles, because I think we will work our way through this. Interest rates eventually start coming back down, but that's going to require that the federal government start getting its financial book somewhat in order. Again, I'm not trying to take any political positions here, but just trying to give everyone my thought on analyzing the current political landscape, whether you like it or not, it is what it is, and how you might react to that and plan accordingly. All right, we'll talk soon.